The 2K Sports pregame show.
Early season's greetings, NBA fans. I'm Ernie Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Got Shaquille O'Neal here. Got Kenny the Jet Smith here for this edition. And on tap tonight, it's the New Orleans Pelicans going up against the New York Knicks in New York. For New York, so far they've staggered to a 3-7 record out of the blocks this season. They need a much better mark in their next 10 games than they had in their first 10, or it could be a season in jeopardy. And with a few moments here, we've seen a lot of coaching turnover. When you played, Shaq, what did you like in a coach, and what set the good ones apart?
Well, my coach had to be a triple OC. He had to be overcome.
From beautiful New York City as the Knicks prepare to take the home court. This is the last stop for the Pelicans before returning to New Orleans. And so off the tip, it's New York. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Setting the floor now for the Pelicans. Davis and Asik in the middle. Booker out there with Brandon Knight. And it's Gallinari in at the 3. Galloway, the pass to Porzingis. The shot misses. Now New Orleans will take it the other way. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Raptors.
And in that game, guys, their three-point shooting really was their own worst enemy. Even when they got the open looks, they just had an inability to knock them down.
And guys, you've seen it happen to every team. You have to be a threat from beyond the arc nowadays, and if your team goes cold, it really can sabotage your game.
Now here's Afflalo, following the miss by Anthony Davis. And that one's good, Anthony.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Knicks last season had a lot of problems here in Manhattan, and it showed all over the floor, Greg. And you played for this team. You know what it's like to play basketball in New York. Not a good record for them at home last year.
How about finishing 10-31 here and playing in front of a sold-out crowd every night? And one thing about New York, they're going to let you know when they're displeased. Worst home record in the East and second worst home record in the league.
And, for the Knicks, there were a lot of reasons why they were bad at home. Bottom 5 in field goal percentage, against at home field goal defense, and third worst field goal percentage at home in the league.
Now here's Knight. He's definitely not pleased how he played against Toronto. Here's Davis. Nice follow through on the fadeaway.
He got a little fancy with the fadeaway on that one. Commend the Knicks faithful. They still would sell this place out, and you have to give a shout out to the fans for sticking through what was a very difficult year. At least it has to get better. And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Fades and shoots, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. Davis has got his second basket. Galloway kicks to Anthony. Some nice passing by New York here. Galloway, the pass to Porzingis. Afflalo dishes to Serafin. It's rebounded by New Orleans. This their first look at this year's New York squad.
And just couldn't make the most of their meetings last year. Ended up splitting the season series.
Yeah, most teams have games where they wish they could get a mulligan or take it back. But last year, their one loss in this series was one I know they wanted back.
Here's Anthony, following the basket by Anthony Davis. Outside Anthony. Davis pulls it down.
For Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him, but with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't happen.
Galloway, the pass to Porzingis. The feed to Afflalo. To the middle. Here's Serafin, and he banks in the layup.
And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
inside. It's tipped. And a fast break now for the Knicks. And Davis sends it back. The Pelicans have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Knight kicks to Davis. 14 feet away. Moves back up. And the layup is good. Asik's got his first basket.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
Now here's Anthony. A 23-point game for him in the win against Cleveland.
And also, he competed on the backboard. That also had a lot to do with the game.
And good on the basket. Booking. Serafin's got 6 points.
Man, he's having quite the quarter, converting at a really high percentage.
Davis with a screen on Anthony. Here's Gallinari. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Now here's Anthony, and we know he can score. He's averaging around 21.5 points a game.
Did you see what I saw? I mean, that move was out of this world.
Executed, don't you think, to perfection, Greg. I mean, he had the rim in his sights and was not going to be stopped.
And finishes with force. Boy, you got to love that.
And a new group in for the Knicks. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Kevin Serafin. Amundsen comes in for Porzingis. Williams, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Calderon in for Langston Galloway. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Alex Len's checked in for Asik. Young comes in for Gallinari. Eric Gordon, he's checked in for Booker. And it's Jennings in for Brandon Knight.
He's looking pretty confident out there. I mean, 5 of 7 so far from the field. He's feeling it.
And for the Pelicans last year, they were at their best when they had great ball movement. Very tough to guard their team when the offense was so active.
Now here's Jennings. Aaron Aflalo missing his last shot. Davis setting the pick for Jennings. And the Pelicans get it back. Davis with it. Amundsen's there. A second chance effort. Foul called that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, and the Pelicans, guys, they were 25-4. This is a good point, Greg. When they had 24 assists in games or more. The average on assists last year was 22 a game, Clark. So they were above that, and they played well when they were throwing it around.
Exactly, and they were right around the league average on the year. That record of 25-4 shows you just how dominant they could be when they were moving the ball and finding teammates.
Now, here's Calderon. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And a follow bucket on the assist from Amundsen.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half.
Davis gets rebounded by New York. Coming into this, having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
And what an outstanding win it was. I mean, to get it the way they did in overtime made it that much sweeter.
And I think most fans thought that once they couldn't win it in regulation, they had missed their opportunity. And overtime wasn't going to go their way. But I'll tell you what, you got to give them credit for pulling it out.
Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. Pelicans lead by 1. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And a chance to hear from former number 2 overall pick Derek Williams about his focus offensively.
Just getting to the basket more, being able to finish with the defender in front of me. I think getting to the line a lot more as well. I think, getting to the line and finishing at the basket.
2 huge improvements for him. Greg, can he do more?
Definitely. He's already taken a big leap forward, and there's plenty more room for him to grow. He could become a real beast in this league.
And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. Now, what stands out to you from the Pelicans in this one?
And we've really seen them get out and establish a real nice rhythm offensively in this game.
Yeah, and they're finding ways to score multiple ways, playing well and sharing the ball, just operating good at the offensive end.
Derek Williams is out there with Anthony. Then there's Kyle O'Quinn. Then there's Calderon, and it's Galloway in at the 1 spot. They're the group New York will start the second one. O'Quinn can't hit.
And guys, Brandon Jennings last season looked like he was finally becoming more efficient. He shot at the upper range of his career field goal percentage from 3 and the free throw line. And then suddenly the Achilles ended his season at 41 games played. Really unfortunate.
Getting back to Jennings last season really did start out as one of his best. Not just the improvement, Clark, in accuracy. His turnovers per game were at a career low.
Yeah, that's what we have to watch out for with Jennings. I mean, he's still only 26 years old, Kevin, now. Plenty of time to continue to refine and hone his game. I think his best basketball is in front of him.
There's a screen. Calderon against Knight. Here's Serafin. Gallinari with the rebound.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Knight kicks to Gallinari. Back to Knight. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt. Knicks trail by 7. Calderon dishes to Galloway. Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. Calderon passes to Serafin, and he gets it to go. Serafin's got 8 points.
That's the way to work the ball in close to the hoop, guys.
Pelicans leading by 5. Now here's Jennings. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
And guys, Brandon Jennings, some people love his chaotic game. Some can't stand it. One of the more polarizing talents in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever shoot for an efficient percentage or become a lockdown defender, Kevin. He's an offensive catalog. Pushes the action, and he'll go on scoring binges, but I think he does more good than bad with his style of play.
Thomas checked in for Derek Williams. And a change for the Pelicans. Martin is checked in. Pelicans pull it in. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Outside Knight. Puts it up from 12. No luck. So New York will take it the other way.
And talking about Brandon Jennings, he has an endless bag of tricks. Keeping the ball literally on a string, makes behind the back, no look, and off the backboard passes few players would even try. That unpredictability, though, can make him difficult to check and often forces defenders into positions from which they can't recover. Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
The offensive rebound. New Orleans leading by 5. It's Knight with the drive. And Galloway pulls it down.
You know, Brandon Jennings is that rare type of difference maker, a guy who can jumpstart your offense without turning the ball over. That's a valuable asset when you're trying to line up the W's.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on as the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
Zinkas, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. Anthony Davis is checked in for the Pelicans. Davis sets a screen. Knight into the lane. There's Gallinari with the 3, and that one falls coming off of Davis's feed. Gallinari's got 5 points so far. For the Knicks, losing a lot of nationally televised games, too. It seemed like every time they were on, they were losing. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
Well, I hope they look at it in a positive vein. It did give them a chance to focus on player development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
Knight kicks to Davis. Fade away. It's rebounded by Serafin. Knicks trail by 4. Here's Galloway. And Thomas. Here we go. No good. Great D that time from Davis. Kicks it to Len. New Orleans moving it around. And another 3 for New Orleans.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
That's 2 in a row, and we call that a streak.
Calderon dishes to Galloway. We've got 1:28 left to play in the first half. Kept alive by New York, but they get it back. Here's Porzingis. And the foul called on Kevin Seraphin. That's his first foul.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
A different look for New York. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Kevin Seraphin. And it's a Fowler in for Langston Galloway. New Orleans also making some changes. Young's checked in for Gallinari. And it's Gordon in for Barton.
You know, the defense was lax right there, and he's able to make them pay.
Calderon passes to a foul. Davis with some nice D.
Nice effort anyway to change his shot and get around the defender. Maybe next time.
Gordon kicks to Davis. Another one falls for New Orleans.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Knicks trail by 10. Calderon dishes to a Fowler.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
New York shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
And they've shot the ball well this season in terms of their attempts, 81%.
Yeah, in general, they've been very solid. I mean, free throw shooting isn't something they've had to worry about too much this season, guys.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. It was Amundsen, who's checked in for Porzingis. And it's Williams in for Lance Thomas. And a change for the Pelicans. Brandon Jennings, he's checked in for Brandon Knight. Jennings with the bucket.
And I like the job they've done with working the basketball. They've been moving and getting quality shots.
And Greg, their field goal percentage reflects that. I mean, they've been the much better team shooting the ball. And you know me, shooting percentage, always a function of shot selection.
They set the screen. From about 19 feet, the shot is off. And so that brings the first half to a close. Pelicans on top. They're up by 10. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
So, Carmelo, after this first half of play, what do you believe the team needs to focus on from here on out?
Well, just communication and trusting one another. When somebody get beat, the next guy got his back, and we're just trying to get up and down, get going some way, somehow. For the most part, we did pretty good. A couple of adjustments on the defensive end. Make some shots and we'll be fine.
Melo, thanks for the time. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. A tremendous game we're seeing from Anthony Davis. He ended up with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 block. There was a lot to like about his first 2 quarters in this one. What did you think, Shaq, about New Orleans?
Well, what's really shifted the game in their favor has been their rebounding. They got a good edge on the boards, and that's a product of their hard work. All 5 guys been battling, putting everything they have to fight on the glass. That needs to remain the focus for 2 more quarters if they want to hang on to their lead.
And Kenny, your take on New York?
Well, they're facing a very hot team in the first half. I mean, guys are shooting the ball lights out. But you have to do more to get stops. I mean, tough defense is the key. And if you put pressure on the ball and more bodying up down low, that's going to establish more aggressive tone that might shut them down in the second half.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game.
The second half just about to get going here. You look at Anthony Davis in this game, he's been everywhere.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
Pelicans leading by 10. On the floor for Alvin Gentry as we get into the second half. The shot-blocking pair of Davis and Ishak inside. Brandon Knight is out there with Booker, and it's Gallinari in at the 3, the small forward. No good on the 3. The Knicks shooting at a decent 44% clip here.
It was a slow start for Gallinari last season. It took him a while to get back to speed after missing all of the 2013-14 season with that torn ACL.
Booker the pass tonight. Inside. Davis has the open look. Good for his 8th field goal. He's attempted a dozen shots.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist number. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
There's Galloway. He's guarded by Knight. A kick out to Afflalo. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lets it fly from 18. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. New Orleans has gone 3 of 4 from long range in the game. Davis with a screen on Afflalo. And the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen.
And the idea of setting a screen on that play was right, but just poor execution.
Yeah, it just can't be a hard screen at all costs. There is a legality to how you set a screen, so you got to be inside of both lines, legal and hard.
Knicks trail by 10. Outside Anthony. From 12 feet out, and the jumper is on the mark. Anthony's got 4 points this quarter. Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
And right before Carmelo went down with the injury last season, it seemed like he had added the fadeaway to his game, molded a little bit after Dirk Nowitzki.
Third quarter of basketball, we're about a minute and a half in. Carmelo's reasoning was that he had been burned enough by Dirk's fadeaway, he had to adapt.
That's a great fadeaway to borrow from, for sure. I mean, Melo already has a mid-range game, terrific mid-range game, and this shot makes that even deadlier.
And the Knicks with possession here, trailing here by 8. The pass to Afflalo. Some nice passing by New York here. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Some good numbers for Seraphin. 10 points, and he was able to come up with 1 steal, too.
You know what? He's been a difference maker defensively today, Clark. He's disrupted more plays than the stat sheet will show.
The Knicks have shot 75% at the line tonight, going 3 for 4. That free throw good from Seraphin.
And last season, the Pelicans made it into the playoffs. I mean, could have had an easier road to get there if they were stronger against the Eastern Conference.
And both free throws good for Seraphin. And the Pelicans were solid against the East, Clark, 16 and 14. But as Greg was just saying, a lot of games left on the table for them.
Well, they have the lowest win total against the East of any Western playoff team. Really, the Pelicans were lucky to get in, given how many games they gave away against the East.
It's Anthony with the drive. Boom, he jams it straight down.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
No good. Some solid defense from Knight. Pelicans leading by 6. And a fast break now for the Pelicans.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
Lance Thomas, he's checked in for New York. Will Barton, he's checked in for New Orleans. Last season ended with the Knicks pretty much packing it in, but Clark, it didn't start out that way.
You know what? Not at all. I mean, the Knicks were picked by many, Kevin, to be a playoff team last season. Clearly, things did not go as planned.
Davis with double team. Galloway kicks to Thomas. There's the dish to Galloway. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Second half of play, and we're 3 minutes into the third here.
And it became clear, thinking about the Knicks again. I mean, it made sense for a team with injuries and being in disarray on the floor to just battle for that lottery.
And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. The Knicks making a switch here. O'Quinn's checked in. Galloway, the pass to Carmelo. Dishes to Galloway. Off the screen. Stolen by Ashik. Now here's Davis. Tight defense on him. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
You know, kind of packing it in for the sake of being better in the future can possibly work in New York for a year or two, but not longer than that. The media will eat you up there if you don't start making some progress towards winning, pleasing basketball.
Pelicans leading by 7. Afflalo pulls it in. The Knicks have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Ashik against Anthony, and Davis sends it back. And for the ball out of bounds, Davis touched it last. A different look for New York. It was Amundsen checked in for Thomas. Derek Williams comes in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Calderon in for Langston Galloway. Gordon's checked in for the Pelicans. Jennings comes in for Brandon Knight. Now, here's O'Quinn. Ashik defending. 5 to shoot. Afflalo loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of him.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
And Davis can't get it to go.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
There's a screen. Now Williams. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. New York needs to get off a shot. On its way from Afflalo for 2. No good off the back of the rim. New Orleans leading by 5. Davis dishes to Gordon. Another miss, and they've really hit a rough patch here. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Afflalo goes in, and Davis sends it back.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Connects from 3-point range. Davis has got 25 points.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Calderon against Jennings. Calderon kicks to Afflalo. Pass to Amundsen. Over to the wing. Feeds it to Calderon. Lets it fly. No good off the front iron. New Orleans has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Ashik up top. He kicks it to Jennings. They get it back. He goes up again, and it's laid in by Davis. Davis has got the lead up to 10 now for the Pelicans.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Pelicans lead by 10. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. Final period of play just about to start. Knicks trail by 10. Porzingis is out there with Kevin Seraphin. Then it's Anthony, then there's Calderon, and it's Galloway in at the 1. So that's who's on the floor for the Knicks. New York moving it around. Just 5 on the clock. The drive by Anthony. And that one's good. Anthony's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Knicks.
Oh, terrific way to finish that move there, going to the basket.
Here's Booker. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. And the Pelicans lead by 10. New York shooting from the field. 44%, not bad. There's Galloway. Here's Porzingis. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
And guys, Porzingis was almost a rookie last season, but he opted to pull out of the early entry and wait a year for this past summer's draft. Seems to have worked out for him as far as how his draft stock has changed.
Greg, you're right with Porzingis. It made sense for him to wait one more year. Clark has a lot to learn, but still comes over, as a much talked about player, a much better player than had he declared last season.
I agree with you, yet he'll still need time to develop, but all the ingredients are there. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
Yeah, the Latvian had a great shot for his height, and it'll be an interesting stretch for in the NBA.
Good call.
And Booker kicks tonight. From the baseline. No good. Excellent D there from Anthony. To Porzingis. And the foul called on Brandon Knight. That is his first foul of the game. There's the pick. The wide open look here for Anthony. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Anthony's got 11 in the second half. Pelicans leading by 5. Outside Knight. Fires from 14. Again, the miss by Knight.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Knight. Porzingis passes to Seraphin. That's good.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
For New Orleans, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. It's Knight with the drive. That drops. And the Pelicans lead by 5.
If they think that kind of defense is going to get it done against him, they're mistaken.
Outside Anthony. To the paint. Porzingis can't hit. For New Orleans, they've gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Gallinari wide open and airballs the triple. That one was way off. Galloway with the bucket.
Loose D here. Critical stretch. I mean, you better off sending them to the free throw lines than to have them get that good a look.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. New Orleans is still a relatively young team, but they play with the maturity, I think, Clark, that's beyond their years.
You know, Kevin, the average age for them last year was just over 25 years old, and the youngest team in the West, actually, to make it to the playoffs last year.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
I was able to listen in on what Alvin Gentry had to say to the team. He told them the game is right there for the taking, fellas, but we've got to be first. First to lose balls, first to the rim. We have to give our all right here. Kevin, now's the time.
Thanks, Doris. It's Anthony with the drive. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a 3-run, don't you think? Clark with the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
To tie it up. And the foul called on Kevin Seraphin. That's foul number 2 for him. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. There's a good screen. Off the screen. And it's Davis finishing it off.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time. And he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one. That's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
And for the I mean, rarely giving away points for free and knowing how to close out games.
Pass to Gallinari. Here's Knight. Second shot opportunity, and Anthony Davis again. Davis has got 6 points in the quarter.
He has really punished these defenders today. No matter who's been on him, he's been giving them medicine.
Anthony Davis really making a difference here.
He's been attacking the rim with reckless abandon. They're searching for answers. Some way they got to figure out how to contain him.
.146 left to play in the final quarter. Anthony kicks to Afflalo. Offensive rebound. Serafin. Great D that time from Davis.
Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. They'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Oh, nice double pump finish there. Strictly for fans.
Breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Pelicans.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
And how about the work they're doing also on the offensive glass? Creating those extra opportunities has been critical.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're losing by 8. There's 1:26 left in the game. Outside Anthony. And Davis sends it back. Howard down after the assist. Let him into the lane.
And they've done some nice work as we've come down the stretch here in the final quarter.
Greg, you can feel the sense of urgency they have to get this thing closed out as soon as possible.
Anthony dishes to Galloway. And there's the pass to Porzingis to end the run.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Yeah, they're making the most of their opportunities at the stripe, and they'll need to keep it up to take the lead.
And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he does get the second one. And that brings them within single digits.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Here's Booker. It's rebounded by New York. 4 on 3 as they bring it up. Now the feed to Anthony. Now here's Booker. T right on him. Knight with it. Now Anthony defending. That shot wide open. And the Pelicans lead by 11.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their turn.
And, you know, that's not the way it usually works in the NBA. It's going to be a great win, and you know it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here for sure.
And finished off by Davis.
Terrific run to seal the deal.
Yeah, and now let's just keep an eye on how much longer they keep the foot on the accelerator.
Not sure there's anything they can do to salvage this one.
Not anymore. I mean, any chance they had got away from them, slipped right out of their hand.
You love it when a big man has those soft hands. Rarely any problem converting that close to the rim.
Outside Knight. So we see the Pelicans get the win here. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, gentlemen, I'm here with Anthony Davis, and in a game like you played tonight, what can you point to as the key to this team's success?
Defense. So they was running script out there, do whatever they wanted. We just got real physical with them and made them shoot contested shots. And ball went our way, we got rebounds and we scored.
Well done, Anthony. Thanks for the time. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time. But first, the post-game show with Ernie Johnson just a few aisles above us.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan. Anthony Davis, just a monster first quarter of the game. He came out hot and just never cooled down. That boost he gave his team early on, a huge factor.
Well, this win was really, really needed, and he went out and he got it for him. They lost 2 in a row coming in, and dropping a third straight would have been very, very rough. But he took it upon himself, took it right to the ship, as he always does. Great performance and a great time to deliver.
Ernie, that is the definition of domination. He took them to school tonight in every possible way. I know there's 10 players on the court, but I only noticed one.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night, and we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.